Welcome back to the channel, Unconformed. If you are new here, welcome to the club. This is a Liverpool fan channel where we cover all things Liverpool. Today, we are going to be covering Liverpool versus Bologna, Champions League, week 2. And a great result for Arne Slot and his men, 2-0 victory for the Reds. And what can you really say about this man, Arne Slot, man? There's going to be people, and even fans of Liverpool, that I'm probably going to battle in the comments of this video about how we may be overhyping this start. We may be overhyping some of the results that we've gotten lately. But let's be really honest. There has never, and I'm not even saying this like out of my own head. This is a fact. There has never been another Liverpool manager that has had a better start in our entire history, guys, than Arne Slot. I don't care who the opposition was. To go 8-1 in your first 9 games is really impressive. And on top of that, mind you, he's only conceded 3 goals. I know some of you will say, well, it's been looking a little shaky. We don't, sometimes, against some of these lesser teams and against better teams, we probably would have had 4 past 5. But it didn't happen, right? None of that stuff ever happened. For some reason, this Liverpool backline do not concede very many goals. And credit to Alisson, credit to Ibu Konate, and credit to VVD. And those 3 may be the reason why this Liverpool backline actually doesn't concede any goals. Konate is in the form of his life, and it's not talked about enough. VVD is back at his best. And Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world, bar none. You cannot argue with me on that. And Trent Alexander has been putting up his best defensive season so far to date, on top of being really great creative going forward. And let's not forget about the ever-reliable Robbo. Come on, guys. Could this be the best backline in Europe right now? Statistically, it is. And we will see in these next handful of weeks, as the competition gets better and as the competition gets more difficult, what happens with this Liverpool team. If they continue to perform at this rate, in the way that they are, where they're just pulling out results and finding ways to win, even if it doesn't look the best, even if it's not complete domination, if they keep doing this, they're going to be really hard to deny. And I think Arne Slot's genius behind the tweak in the tactics and the way that they play, but keeping it very similar and familiar to the way Jurgen Klopp plays with the press and setting up pressing traps and making sure that everybody is covering every blade of grass on the field and being very intense, but then resting on the ball when they have it and keeping possession and being really responsible and putting players like Ryan Gravenberch into position to do what he does best, pirouette on the ball, dance away from midfielders, and safely bring the ball on to an oncoming teammate. It's actually really impressive. And if you absolutely love all things Liverpool, you love content about Liverpool, maybe some takes that you maybe never have heard before, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below. Send this to your friends. We're growing more and more. And if you're new here, make sure you guys put where you are watching from when you subscribe. We have people from all over the world, from Russia to New York City, Houston, Canada. It's all over. So I'm still waiting for someone from Brazil, though. I haven't seen Brazil yet, but make sure you guys do that. Put that in the comments below. And we bring these to you every single week, multiple times a week. Appreciate everybody who's decided to subscribe. Anyway, the first half, we looked menacing. We actually did. And it actually looked like we actually were going to rout them for a little bit, but Bologna grew into the game. And credit to Bologna and their coach. They actually didn't play terrible. And I feel like I say that almost every video that I do reviewing any of these Liverpool games. We've actually been coming up against really well-coached teams that I think is actually being a little insulted when a lot of these opposition fans say Liverpool haven't played any teams. The teams that we've been playing, actually, most of them have had new coaching changes, and they've actually looked really competitive and really good. And that goes to the same for Bologna. And Doye on that left-hand side was actually giving Trent some issues for like a 10 or 15-minute stretch, but Trent was able to lock him down, and you could kind of see his confidence go down. But he's one that I think people should look out in the future for. He's a talented winger. But obviously, Mo Salah is the man of the match for me. what can you say about Mo Salah? A goal and assist today, and I know a lot of you guys will be saying, Ryan Gravenberch was the man of the match. He's gonna have like 10 of them by the end of the season, or 15 of them by the end of the season. I think today, let's be really, really fair. Mo Salah was the best player on that pitch today. Beautiful assist, cross into the box, and a beautiful finish into the top left-hand corner. If that doesn't get you man of the match, I'm not really actually sure what will get you man of the match if you're Mo Salah. But I think we are so used to seeing that as Liverpool fans over the past 7-8 years with Mo Salah that we just forget that that is not normal. And players being able to curl a ball into the top left-hand corner off the dribble the way that he did, dragging it back onto his left, pushing it forward with his right, lining it up back again with his left, caressing it into the top left-hand corner. You a bad boy, Mo Salah. You a bad boy, Mo Salah. And for me, he wins the man of the match. Close second actually would be Maka for me. I think Maka was outstanding today. Got a goal, was untouchable in the midfield. Like I mentioned before, if you watch that live, and I'll put a link here for it. We go live every single Tuesday. We talk about all the results from the week, what's coming up ahead in the week. If you guys find time, we do that every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. British time. And we come live every single day, about 45 minutes to an hour, and it's absolutely wonderful. But I brought attention to Maka, and I said, make sure you guys look into how he moves on the ball, some of the stuff that he does that's a little unsung. And today, I was paying extra attention to Maka, and I think he was outstanding today. Ryan was also great. Some of those turns were just absolutely beautiful. It was some of the things that he was doing was a violation to football with some of those turns that he did in the midfield. And the forays forward, actually getting forward for Ryan was actually really fruitful for him today. He's probably our best ball carrier in the team. I'll go outright and say that. Being able to bring the ball from deep, if the simple pass isn't there, and dribble past 2-3 guys and hand deliver it to Mo Salah on the wing, or hand deliver it to Diaz on the wing. I think that's a facet of his game that's not actually talked about enough, because I see him pop up almost as like a half winger, right? On the left-hand side and the right-hand side, and drift back and forth when he's doing those mazy runs, and then he stays there. And then Maka drops in and almost becomes the 6, and Sabo drops in next to them. It's very interesting how this midfield has been able to kind of morph and change and move throughout games and adjust to what the game needs. And I think that is a big credit to Maka, Ryan, and Szoboszlai, who is criminally underrated for me. I think he was another great performer today. I think he was outstanding today. Got an assist, and it was a little bit of a Mickey Mouse assist. A lot of the hard work came from Salah, but got an assist, but was absolutely working his ass off today. Covered almost every blade of grass, was using his body, bumping players off the ball, getting the ball back, making really small, smart passes, and slowed his game down, which is what I wanted to really see from him. So he can conserve some of that energy, and he can be really effective in attack after he tracks back and covers for Maka and Gravenberch. And the three almost work as like one big midfield 6, where they trade off defensive duties at times, and you don't know who's the 6, and you don't know who's the 10 or the 8. And I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think maybe is this the best midfield 3 in Europe right now? I know some of you guys don't rate Szoboszlai, but he was fantastic today, and was fantastic against Milan, and had a good game the last game in the league as well. I'm not sure why so many people are kind of getting on top of him, but I think that's his second assist, or maybe his third assist of the season, which is a great start, and I think that's only going to get better as the season goes on. And he's on track to better his numbers from last season to this season. And I think he will. I see him ending the season on maybe 10 goals, 10 assists, maybe 15 assists and 10 goals or something like that. But expect his goal assist to be in the 20s, and him to be one of the most effective attacking midfielders in the Premier League, which he already is. If you look at his stats, he already is. And I think he gets some unjust criticism sometimes, because maybe he doesn't bury some chances that he should, and sometimes he doesn't make great decisions. But because he slowed his game down today, he was able to make the right decisions, make the right passes, and conserve some energy and not be as frantic. And I loved everything that I saw today. He answered the haters big time. And that midfield 3 is our beacon, is our saviors right now. They are keeping us in a lot of these games. And then that back three of Allison, Kanate, and VVD are doing the same exact thing. But another result, another clean sheet. What more can you ask for from Arne Slot? He finds ways to keep the ball out of the net and put the ball in the net on the other end. And that is the basics of this game. That's it. We didn't control the game. We won 2-0. We looked a little shaky. We won 3-0. We haven't conceded a goal in like 3 matches now or something like that, or 2 matches. We conceded pretty much an own goal, actually. An opposition hasn't scored on us since Forest and Milan. Like, come on, guys. Like, when are we going to start giving this team the credit that they deserve? I know Arne likes to play down a lot of the results and stuff like that, but I think it's safe for Liverpool and their fans to start supporting now. You can start being a fan now. You can start getting behind this team now, and you can start believing in this team. This team was in a title race for a majority of last season, 90% of it. They are competitive. I know a lot of people say we're not ready. Well, who are you adding to this team to make them ready? These are some of the best players that are available right now in the world on both flanks, in the middle of the pitch, and in defense. Who are you bringing in? No, seriously, this is a serious question. Who are you bringing in to make this Liverpool team better? I'm very curious. Put that in the comments below, right? But there's not much more you can ask from this Liverpool team and some of the results that we are getting, right? I'd imagine Arne does go to the transfer window. I do. And not to replace anybody from the first team, but to add some depth. I think he will. I think this midfield 3 is very important. And if we can find a 4th or a 5th guy that can slide in there and deputize and give Szoboszlai some rest and give Gravenberch some rest and give Maka some rest and be in the same mold as those guys. I think Jones is good, but I think he's more of an attacker than he is a midfielder. And I'll die on that hill. I'd like to see him be played in the attack, maybe on the wing or maybe even in like a false 9 kind of role. And I think Morton is a contender. I think he has the potential to be there. And Trey is obviously very young. He'll need more games and reps. But bringing in a younger but senior midfielder that can play in that role, I think will be really smart for Liverpool. And I think we probably are looking. So expect business in January. I do. But in terms of being able to replace someone in this team, whether it's Mo Salah, whether it's a Diogo Jota or a Nunes, or a Gakpo or a Diaz, who do you bring in realistically that is an upgrade over these players? I'm very, very curious. But anyway, we continue to march on. We continue to get results. And regardless of how it looks, it's just looking good. It's looking good if you look at it as a whole. If I came to you before this season started and I told you Arne Slot would break the record for most matches won in his first 9 games for a Liverpool manager ever, we're talking about ever in Liverpool's history, you would tell me I'm lying. And then I would say we've only conceded 3 goals in this whole thing, and one of them was an own goal, so it was really 2 in 9 matches. You would probably bite my hand off, maybe smack me, and tell me there's no way. He has to have already lost maybe 3 or 4 matches. He hasn't. Master tactician, and he's a smart man with a smart team. And I think this Liverpool squad that we have needs to get given a lot more credit for what they've been able to do under 2 separate managers and being able to adapt and be humble and come under a completely new regime and still perform at a high level and do the things and execute the things that this new coaching staff is asking them to do. I think this team has made Arne Slot look much better than he is, and I think Arne Slot is really good. But I think the credit needs to be given to these players, and I think it also needs to be given to how smart Arne Slot is. I am a very, very happy man, if you cannot tell. But is there a better midfield 3 in the world? I'll end on that. Is there a better midfield 3 in the world? You tell me down in the comments. Remember, we do go live every single Tuesday. We come out with videos every single week. We do a reaction every single match. And then sometimes we'll do nice little one-off videos on analysis and things like that. So make sure you guys subscribe to this channel, Unconformed. The family just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We're almost at 3,000 subs. I never thought anything like this could have ever happened when I first started this in December of last year. And here we are, 3,000 subs later, starting out at 0. Now we're at 3,000, almost at 3,000. We got a couple more to go, so make sure you guys subscribe. But everyone that has decided to subscribe in the past week, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You're making a dream come true of me being able to talk about the club that I love on a growing platform that's just stretching all across the world. So thank you, everyone. Continuing to make awesome friends from every point on the globe. Keep supporting and keep saying hello down in the comments. I love talking to you guys. We will see you on the next one. Peace. Boom.